everybody, it's Sam with Troops Mowing. I've received quite a few comments on some of my past YouTube videos. I know there's only like 4 up there, asking me to create more content pertaining to the lawn care industry and just some insight into the lawn care business in and of itself. So I have some time on this beautiful Saturday morning, and I wanted to really just share some of my insight. But first, I want to say thank you to those. There's a few of you who've been, extremely supportive and have asked me to create some more videos. It's not lost on me, and I'm very appreciative that you guys are watching this stuff. I created these videos, this channel, back in the winter, really when I had a lot of free time, and I didn't really realize it was going to get that many views that quickly. So just very thankful, very, very blessed. So this video, I want to break down some numbers on when you should decide to pursue your lawn care company full-time. I remember being in this position back about a year and a half ago, really just stressed out. I had a decent sales job here in Austin, Texas, and we'll save my story for another video, but I remember being faced with an opportunity of pursuing this full-time, and for me at the time, the numbers did not make sense. Thankfully, thanks be to God that, we made it through that tough time. But I wish somebody would have broken down this video with just straight numbers on when is it a good time to pursue full-time lawn care and kind of drop what you currently are doing for a company. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just talk, and I'm gonna screen record my iPad and just straight numbers, breaking everything down, because I'm a numbers guy, and I'm willing to bet if you have a lawn care business or any business of that matter, you're probably some sort of, you make your decisions based on numbers and metrics as well. So I took the liberty to look up the average salary in the United States in 2022, and that happened to be $53,490. And for the sake of my brain power and doing a whole lot of crazy math, all of these numbers in this video is just going to be pre-tax. We're going to keep it pre-tax all the way through, just for consistency purposes. So if you were to break down $53,490 in your salary into a weekly pre-tax income, that comes out to $1,029. Granted, this is really $1,028 and some change, but just to keep numbers easy, I will say $1,029. Where I'm at currently in Austin, Texas, our average square foot of our properties that we mow is about 4,500 square feet on average. Using my numbers, because it's really hard to find everybody's numbers on the internet. So using my numbers only, so this could be dependent on where you are at, could be higher, could be lower, but you should know your numbers. So just kind of break down this math in whatever way works best for you. But using my numbers, the average price per visit for me is $54 per cut. Now, I'm not taking into consideration any of the flower bed work that we do. What I'm considering a visit right now is lawn mowing and pet waste. So there's some properties, majority of properties we're only doing the lawn mowing, but there are properties where we also take care of their pet waste, and I average those numbers out to get my average price per visit. So with those numbers in mind, the number of lawns needed to replace your current weekly income, pre-tax obviously, is going to be a total of 19 lawns. So 19 lawns per week is what is needed to replace your salary if your salary is in line with the average of the United States. And what that comes out to is those are just the lawns, right? So now we want to figure out how many lawns that means, or how many customers that means for those lawns, right? So if you have bi-weekly customers, you're at 38 customers to get 19 lawns per week. And if you're weekly, right, it should just be 19 customers for weekly. So I'm willing to bet right now that if you're watching this video and you've watched it to this point, you already have a few customers, right? And you're like, I have 10 customers, like, should I go full time? really just depends on your numbers, how long it takes you to mow a lawn, and everything like that. But we're gonna get to the end of this video. I'm gonna talk about an opportunity cost. And I think that's gonna help you understand if you are currently in a position where maybe I don't have 38 biweekly customers right now, maybe I have 15, but will I have the bandwidth? Can I make it make sense to where I can quit my current job and pursue this full time? So the number, using my numbers, when I'm on a solo route, granted, I rarely do solo routes anymore. My current company, it's me, my brother-in-law, who is co-owner of the company, and we also have 2 employees. We're likely gonna pick up a 3rd here pretty soon. So total number of laborers, because I'm still out in the field as well, right now is 4. But when I was doing solo routes, I remember I would be doing 1.75 lawns per hour. And that was on the low end. There would be days where I would do 2.25 lawns per hour. Really just depends on your route density and the average size of the lawns that you're cutting. But for our numbers, that's all I can base my decision off of, and this video's purposes is 1.75 per hour. And once again, that's on the low end. Taking those numbers in mind, the number of billable hours that you would need to work to replace your current weekly income would be 10.85. And what I mean by billable hours is that's hours that are actually producing revenue. So you sitting at a computer sending out emails, granted that is needed and that's efficient work, it's not billable hours. So billable hours means you're on a mower, you're on a property taking care of all these lawns, and using these numbers, it's 10.85 billable hours is what's needed to replace your current weekly income if you were making an average United States salary. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So now I like to break it down into the opportunity cost. So assuming you just have a general middle of the yard salary job, corporate job, you're working, let's say 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Now, if you're working 40 hours a week, currently making your current salary and using these numbers, you only need 10.85 billable hours to replace your current weekly income. What that means is there's 29.15 hours of opportunity if you were to quit your current job and pursue this as a full-time gig. And this is where I was at when I first started. Is I remember there was a lot of free time in my day where I was just kicking myself. I was stressed out. I should be out mowing lawns. But the opportunity cost, what that allowed me to do is I could spend those free times. I could spend doing that marketing. I did a lot of door knocking. And what I really tried to do is I would even spend extra time on the current properties that I had and just do an immaculate, that's not even a word, immaculate, jeez. And just an amazing job on these properties with the intent of asking for reviews to boost up my Google page. So there's so much you can do with your free time, right? That is going to be efficient for the growth of your company to fill up those hours. If you were to get to a point where all 29.15 of those hours could be considered billable, meaning you're doing 1.75 yards an hour, your average cost per visit is $54. What that means is if you can fill up that remaining time in your schedule for that week, you would have an additional $2,754 in weekly revenue. Man, my handwriting is brutal. In weekly revenue. So I didn't run this number yet, but I'll pull up my calculator. So if you have 40 hours of billable time a week, and you're doing 1.75 yards per hour, that means that you're doing 70 lawns a week. That's basically where I was at when I was probably at about 60 lawns a week when I got my first employee. But 70 lawns a week, you can absolutely do that solo. You're really just pushing it. So that's 14 lawns a day. But with $54 per cut at 70 lawns per week, what you're doing is you're bringing in $3,780 revenue per week. Now, the great thing about being solo is the profit margin percentage. Now, for me, having 4 people with our company, payroll, trucks, gas, you name it, our profit percentage dwindled quickly compared to a solo route when I was a solo. I think it's very feasible. I was doing 65% profit margin solo, and I had a storage unit when I could have used my garage. I financed a mower so that I could be more efficient, but I could huff it and puff it and still could have stayed debt-free with a push mower. So my profit margin could have been 70, 75%. But for the sake of a worst case scenario, we'll say 65% profit margin, meaning your take home could be 2,457 per week. And then there's a good rule of thumb for taxes. It's called the law of thirds, right? So they say technically save 33% for your taxes, which means after setting aside money for taxes, you could be at $1,621 per week. If you're in a place in the United States where you can work all 52 weeks, I know that's pretty rare. More times than not, you're probably going to save some money aside for the winter. But if you could work all 52 weeks, if you found something, landscaping, whatever it is, to make sure that your profit margins stay consistent and your weekly revenue stays consistent, you would be at a take home after taxes, 84,000. I'm gonna pull it up here because I'm running out of room. $84,324. Now that is after tax, whereas the $53,490 salary at the beginning of this document was pre-tax. So I hope these numbers really do help you make a decision. You can kind of piece together how I got these numbers with the calculations, input your own data into there, understand your opportunity cost. And if you want to work for yourself, if you want to quit working for the man per se, and you want to have control over your own income, your own daily schedule, I think pursuing lawn care as a full-time gig is an amazing decision. It is absolutely the best decision I've made, and I have ambitions of growing this, to a multi-million-dollar company. And it all started out of a back of a Ford Focus. So if I can do it, I'm not the brightest crayon in the crayon box, but if I can do it, I know for a fact anybody can do it. So good luck, guys. Like, dislike, comment on the video. Let me know how you like it. Let me know what other content you want to see in the future. And I'm going to be really intentional on creating more videos. So thanks, guys.